everybody. I'm Kat Carley from the Hub Austin.
And I'm Brenda Laurent from Reach for Success.
And together we are Mama Kat and Gigi. And today we're here to talk about flexibility. And when we talk about flexibility, we're not talking about turning ourselves into a human pretzel. We're here to talk about having your child be flexible in your everyday life. So the first thing we wanted to talk about was picky eaters, kids that'll only eat a few things. So what do we do if we have kids that are not very flexible with food?
Okay, assuming that this is not something that an occupational therapist needs to address, right? These are just kids who are trying to control their environment. So they control it with food, with behavior, with what they wear, with all kinds of things, with going to bed at night, right? We're talking about today kids who feel like their worlds are out of control and they need to have control of something. And so,
do you feel like with everything that's going on that could potentially make things a little bit worse?
Absolutely, it absolutely could, because they're feeling the tension that you're feeling. You're feeling like your world's out of control too, right?
Right.
And you're wanting to control some things, and that's why you're butting heads, right? You're butting heads because you want to control the things they're controlling, and their little worlds are out of control too. So what we have to say is, remember in another video we talked about this. Okay, so I'm going to push. Oh man, you're pushing back, right? That's really what we're all set up as human beings to do. But now you push on me. Oh, no fun.
No
right?
fun at all.
No fun. Okay, so as long as we're pushing back, we're not going to get anywhere. And so if, like at dinner time, when the kids, I make dinner and I've gone to a lot of trouble to make dinner, or hey, I've done my best to be creative with what we have in the house at this point, or wherever we are with that, and the kid says, I don't like that. I'm not going to eat that. I don't push back. I say back to them, that's okay. If you want to make that choice, that's okay with me. But you know, I had this special dessert all lined up for everybody, and if you don't eat what's on your plate, I can't give you a dessert. Okay.
So what you're saying is when it comes to food, if you want your kids to be flexible, you might want to offer them an incentive.
Absolutely. An incentive would be really good. And the other thing is, I've been in, we have lots of time, right? So I've been involving my grandchildren, and I just say, hey, it's time for me to make dinner. Who wants to help me? And everybody runs to the kitchen and scoots their stools up, and it's amazing. They're invested and engaged in eating food that they helped prepare. And, I say, oh, you did such a good job with that. Wow, that looks really good. What would happen if you added a little butter or whatever, right?
So when they're more invested in the process of dinner, they're more interested in eating the dinner that they helped make.
Absolutely.
So what about those kiddos that only want to sit in one chair?
Again, the more out of control their worlds are, I think the more they're wanting to control their world. And so you have to, there are some other things that we could do here, right? Whenever we come across behavior like that, we could say, hey, could you help me? I really need some help today. Could you sit over there by your baby brother? Because I really need help with, he's maybe going to need some help with eating dinner or whatever, right? So could you help me by doing this, right?
So by asking for help, again, you're involving them in the process, and that kind of makes people and kids more interested in what you're asking them to do.
That's right, because now they have some control and they have a reason to change, okay? But flexibility in general, we're training the lack thereof or that ability kind of all day long, right? So have you ever noticed that you always brush your teeth with one hand? You always put your toothpaste on with the other hand, right?
Right.
You always, you always lead to go upstairs with a particular foot. So we can be training flexibility by brushing our teeth with the opposite hand from what we really do, right? By skipping as we go around the house instead of walking all the time. By hopping on one foot and then the other foot. We can be training flexibility for lots of things. Wearing our hair a little differently.
So one thing that I've noticed with flexibility in my kids is giving them choices really seems to help, but not open-ended choices. Just giving them a few choices. So, you know, if they only want to wear the same shirt all the time, just saying, okay, well, here are your two options today. Which shirt do you choose? So they still feel involved in the process. And sometimes that can kind of get them out of that loop so that they can move forward and still feel involved in, you know, making those little kind of insignificant choices in their life.
We don't want to be making choices for people all the way into adulthood. So this is the time to train them for that. And then sometimes my other very favorite thing is to use a timer. Say, hey, we're going to do it your way for 1 minute, and then we're going to do it my way for 1 minute, and then we're going to decide between the two of us which one of those ways we really like the best. So that's another good way to do it too.
Excellent.
I think children need some sort of an external motivation until they are internally motivated to do something. And so paying them or rewarding them is just one way to do that.
And another thing that I've seen you do and that I implement myself is thanking them for their flexibility. So if you have a kid who kind of struggles with that and they manage to do something that is flexible, just saying thank you for your flexibility and kind of giving them a little pat on the back for it.
That's right. I really appreciated that you did it my way this time. And hey, we might just be after that praise. That might be just enough external motivation. That's all the reward really they need, right?
Excellent. Well, if you've enjoyed our video, click the subscribe button below. And thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.